What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Real Estate Podcast, episode 306. I'm here with Griffin.
I'm here with Trav.
And I'm polishing off the dust off my copy of Moby Dick with Adam.
I didn't know what was getting polished.
I was like, polishing off
like,
where's
this going?
Yeah, no, dude. You know how when you're going downhill on a bike and you think you got it and you start to wobble a little?
Yeah.
That was me just
You got
now,
a course correct.
Yeah, I had to like reaffirm my grip on the handle.
It worked though. Like you recover. It's a nice recovery.
It made sense. The joke does make sense.
Yeah.
It does.
The well.
The well, baby.
He was a well of a man too.
Well.
I was kind of wondering like the well. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like what? And then it made perfect sense.
Yeah.
Like he was a well, and I thought it was strictly in relation to like the dude's size and everything. Because we all saw the trailer, we all seen the pictures and everything.
Yeah.
And then I was just like, wait a minute, like the Moby Dick, I never even considered that as an option. You know what I mean?
When he was reading it, that first time he gets up and you see that side profile, and it's like, you kind of shaped like a beluga whale.
Yeah.
You know, that the way it was shaped.
Yeah.
When he's doing, when he's reading the thing, walking back there.
Yeah. What a way to open the movie too.
Oh,
I mean,
I don't know if I'm not that familiar with the way Aronofsky does callbacks or cameos and stuff. I've seen most of his films, but I've never been one to like pick apart the scenery. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But like the living room that it takes place in, it reminded me eerily. It was eerily similar of the same layout that the older woman in Requiem had. Like the one that was obsessed with TV. When she took those pills, the fridge would start kind of moving and shit.
Yeah, yeah.
It just seemed like that. Just seemed really similar to me. And I don't know
lighting
if that was some
too,
sort
like
of,
the
absolutely.
how you'd see like the side table would have all the pills and the big teacup.
Yeah,
and
he did a good job of doing the contrast with that lighting, like you said, Adam. Like because like inside the apartment, it felt like it was its own ecosystem.
Yeah.
And when they would open that front door, it would just show, you know what I mean? That light would just glare in.
Did y'all notice every time someone would leave, he would watch them walk past that window?
Yeah.
Like every time.
I get that though.
Yeah, I do
too.
That was another thing I noticed too, man. To be a recluse, he had a lot of visitors.
Yeah, right. Like, yeah. I mean, I love how they showed the trailers and stuff for this movie because going into it, you kind of had a general idea of what was going to be happening. But like, you thought that the Asian chick was his home health nurse. No, that's like his sister-in-law, basically.
Yeah.
You know, she just happens to be a nurse, like helping take care of him. Like, the daughter.
I didn't see the nurse connection coming because, to be honest, because we've all sat through an episode of the reality show where the person is morbidly obese, and there's always the enabler, the one that's giving them the food, the one that bitches them out, but then turns around and gives them the food. And like her behavior was spot on with that right from the jump. Like she, like the meatball sub incident where she's like, "Do your fucking food like a normal human," and then like, you were normally a caregiver, probably wouldn't have even handed that to him in the first place. Yeah. But she took it, and then she immediately just gave it right back. Yeah. And then the next time she comes over, she brings two of the motherfuckers.
Yeah.
So the enabling is there.
Dude, that bucket of chicken?
Yeah. Oh, dude.
How gross was that?
Man, whenever he kept looking over it, like the camera was focused on those stack of like bills and stuff.
Yeah. I can see the bucket next to it. You could look corner, and he's like, "I smell that chicken back there." Oh, he's like, "Do you mind?"
Oh, and when she goes back there and she goes to grab it, I like verbally was like, "No, man, no, don't do it." Like I was like, I was wanting the nurse to be a fucking nurse.
Yeah,
and she did, which which I understand that, you know, as the story went on and, you know, we found out how she's connected. Like the whole time I'm sitting there going, dude, fuck this woman. Like,
well, and to an extent, because like you don't really see how she's dealing with, well, you kind of see it, but not to the fullest extent of how she's dealing with and processing her own loss in that way, you know, because like she's a nurse, but she smokes. She knows the risk of smoking, but like that might be her vice. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So, and his vice is like eating. It's like, you know, that's his thing. So they both had their vices and their way of working through everything that had happened. It's just like his was compounded in on itself.
Every time he would get sad, dude.
Yeah,
he would just eat.
Yeah.
Well, and another thing that with the film as well, most of this movie happens off screen.
Yeah.
Like a good 75% of this movie's plot is off screen.
Yeah.
And we're seeing from his perspective, like he can't go out and figure stuff out. Like a big plot point is the fact that, you know, obviously it wasn't just the fact that his partner died, but his partner was the victim of a hate crime.
Yeah.
And I was hoping maybe like I guess I was expecting this to heel turn into the uplifting, like he's gonna get his shit together, like last 30 minutes of the film, like we would see a regular sized Brendan Fraser by the time this movie was over. That's what I was thinking. No. Instead it goes full Akira.
Yeah, right.
It's almost like he just wanted to die.
Oh yeah. And I mean, I know what the fade to white meant. I mean, clearly.
Yeah.
But it was just funny that he was so big, and when he does the whole, and he like does that weird little gyrate at the end, which we obviously know. Yeah, But in my mind, I'm like, yep, he's going to Akira. He's noping out.
Yeah. So like his lover though, like, did I misinterpret?
He jumped off the bridge.
So he was dealing with his own demons, and
his parents disowned him.
Yeah,
kicked him out the family, the church. Like, I mean, you know,
okay,
like, and then, you know, I guess Fraser might have felt a little guilty for that because,
I mean, he might not have known of his like homosexuality.
But wasn't there a moment though where the nurse said that you kept him from jumping?
I think that she meant in regards of like you kept him from doing that sooner.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because the whole thing with the church, until we find out that the witness was actually just bullshitting and wanting to do, you know, just trying to be a better person, but not necessarily clinging to anything to represent other than himself. I thought I took that church killed him literally. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that's how whenever she explained it to the boy, she explained it to the boy that her dad, who was the leader of that church, was the reason that he had died, and kind of left it open as to like maybe he had some people go out and take care of that for him. And then whenever her and Brendan Fraser's character was talking about it, at one point it was more of like, you know, that was the happiest I'd ever seen him, and he was dealing with his faith and his family and love and all this kind of stuff, and he just couldn't deal with it anymore, so he decided to punch his own ticket out, you know?
Yeah.
And the dad told everybody it was an accident. You know, tried to keep it from everybody. Probably kept the fact that he was gay from him too. Like, you know, that he didn't want everybody thinking his son would. And I think it was that verse that was highlighted that the kid read, was like, I get it now.
Yeah. It's very Aronofsky, right?
Oh yeah.
Like his way of like dealing with humanity is so real and different. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like even in the most screwed up of situations, like even in Mother, you know what I mean?
Yep.
Like you felt that. You felt like that real genuine connection to those characters. You felt that humanity and everything. And like, I don't know how he does it. Like, and I know that this was based off of a play, and I did a little reading too. It's like the author of the play dealt with all of these same issues. Like, was homosexual and had like, people on his case about that, and then an eating disorder and all this kind of stuff. So he channeled that into this writing, and it's almost like, what would my life have been if I wouldn't have got my shit together? And this was how all that would have played out, it's just fascinating. Even though he didn't write it, he was able to take, what this person had written and plays have been performed of, and like really dialed it in.
And there's no way that the play plays out like that. Just not with that, with the cinematography. When you watch a play, you're just fixed on wide shot.
Yeah.
And
it's kind of hard to.
Well, yeah. Well, with a play, it just always seems like the play relies heavily on line delivery, like acting in full fucking force, and it's the same in a film. But that cinematography, man, cinematography can polish a turd really good.
Yeah, for sure. And I know that Aronofsky has been working on adapting this into a film for many, 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 many years.
Yeah.
But he wanted to cast the right person for it. And it said that he was like in his hotel room watching a Brazilian shot film that starred Brendan Fraser. I don't know. I'll have to look at it. It's on the IMDb. But when he saw his performance in this foreign film that was starring Brendan Fraser, he's like, this is the guy. This is the whale. I've got to cast him. And of course, Fraser was like, bet, like I'll do it for sure, So
perfect.
Yeah. He was, dude, like we grew up with Brendan Fraser. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like watched The Mummy a ton, Blast from the Past, Monkey Bone, Bedazzled, like you name it, watched all of it. But
like that, yeah, but all that stuff you just said.
I never seen him doing no acting like that.
That Brendan Fraser is not this Brendan.
He's always
Fraser.
a goofball.
Yeah. Well, and for me, Brendan Fraser melted away.
You know what I mean? Like it wasn't him.
Yes, it was like it was just. It was.
He was the whale.
Yes, exactly.
Well, he was good. I mean, he's always been a good actor. I mean, it's been memed to death a lot over the years, but probably one of the only good episodes, and it's probably heresy to some folks out there. The only good episode of the show Scrubs is the Brendan Fraser episodes.
Dude, I cried.
I think it was wasn't it a back-to-back? It was a two-parter.
Yeah, it was a two-parter. Yeah.
Yeah, like the whole part where Zach Braff looks at the head surgeon and he's like, "Where do you think we are?" Because it's his brother, and they've been talking and having their shenanigans the whole time.
Yeah,
and then they're just at a gravesite, and it's like one of the few times you get to see Dr. Cox actually like kind of like
be a human,
break the break the assholeness,
Yeah.
But so there's been, and I mean, hell, we're talking about a guy who's able to make you give a shit about a character called fucking Robot Man.
Yeah, right.
Like, so I mean, the chops have always been there. I mean, I would love a return to an adventure movie, Brendan Fraser. I know the years are gone. I mean, let's look at it this way. This is Encino Man.
Yeah, I know, right?
This fucking Encino Man playing the whale.
Yeah.
And won the Oscar.
He deserves it.
Yeah.
Absolutely deserves it, man. This chick that was from Stranger Things. Like, don't get me wrong, man.
You mean the typecast bitch actress?
Yeah. But, I mean, like, she
ran up that hill again.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, this time she just got to the doorway, but
Yeah.
There was no doorway.
She's still running.
Yeah.
But did some acting.
Yeah. That scene at the end where she finally realized that like it's over. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's fucking heartbreaking, man.
She was like, fuck you, I don't care if you die. And then she's like, no, call somebody.
It was heartbreaking to watch her just be so fucking hateful to him. And every venomous thing that she would spit at the guy, he would just be like, yeah, you're right. Like, but I still think you're fucking awesome. Like, your self-worth is so, I mean, he was still supportive of her and shit.
Yeah.
Well, in her eyes, he left them.
Yeah.
Left her with her alcoholic mom where they moved to a little trailer somewhere. And
so
she thought they never sent any money, but he did.
Oh, yeah. How fucking shitty was that?
Yeah.
Over $100,000. And then like the Asian woman was like, the nurse was like, motherfucker, you made me walk in the snow, dude.
I was like, damn, you should have. He's like, I offered to fix it. But she thought he was broke.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like everyone was too good of a person in this,
Yeah.
And but something I was wanting to ask the pizza delivery guy. There's a part near the end where he delivers it and he goes and gets it and you see him. He says something
he just said
I didn't rewind
or gross or
I thought he
something
said
could have been that.
disgusting.
Yeah.
Because after that, dude, he went full food suicide, man.
Yeah. Well, and it's like it shows, they build up this little through the door relationship, kinda. You know what I mean? Hey, I'm Dave. Hey, I'm, whatever.
Never meet your heroes, Dave.
Yeah. And the character that Brendan Fraser played, like, I connect with that character of like, I try to be as positive as humanly possible. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, I understand and I get it that sometimes like there is a thing that exists of like over positivity. You know what I mean? And I recognize that as a person and I know when to like be like, okay, everything's going to be okay. We'll work through it, to just like, sometimes you just got to let things happen in the moment and just let people react to them. You know what I mean? But I understand where he's coming from, where it's just like, don't worry about me. You're a great person. You're an incredible person. Do you. Like, you deserve to be the person that you've always been, like the person you were meant to be. And
and it's stretched into extremities by the fact that it's coming from someone who's dying of like congestive heart failure.
Yeah.
He did say disgusting.
I mean, but yeah,
talk about turning into an asshole, like lickety split. Dude,
he ate that pizza and then he got that bread
Dude,
and put chips on it and put jelly on it, and then he throws up. It's like, I would have thrown up a long time ago, dude. Yeah. Like 2 pizzas.
Not only that, but like I probably would have threw up when he dumped a whole bottle of ranch on that one thing.
Oh.
Like, holy shit. And I mean, saying that dude was depressed is a bit of an understatement.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's just crazy what, like, this is, because it's one of many things. But the primary thing of this movie is it shows you what happens when you build loss around you.
Yeah.
It's just one of many outcomes.
Yeah.
You have the people who get gung-ho, gonna fucking do something about it and go out there and fucking make an ass of themselves. And then you have like the internal sufferer that, I mean, lo and behold, we watched it for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Smart guy.
And yeah, brilliant,
nice guy.
Man. Oh, dude, when he was breaking down all that shit to his kid, and the kid was like, I don't fucking care. And you're sitting there like, dude, this dude's giving you fucking
Yeah.
$50,000 semester information.
The greatest
free.
essay he ever read was one she wrote when she was a kid.
Yeah.
So he knew she had it in her, and I thought that was the boyfriend's writing.
I did too.
I thought maybe that's what made them start talking. And
well, I kind of guessed it was the kids only because like the way the movie was already set up, and like the summary being like if you like the summary of the film's like, trying to reconnect with his daughter, blah 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 blah. And when by the time it kept showing him looking at it and reading it, and like you realizing he's committing it to memory, you're like, oh, it's this kid, dude. But I mean, I could see where they might have thought it was that, because they brought up, they were like, yeah, he was a student, wasn't he? Whenever he'd get bitched out about it.
Yeah. It was great, man. It was sad. Not sure how often I'm going to watch this movie.
Oh, don't watch it on a sunny Saturday evening with the fam.
But that's like every Aronofsky movie, right? Like,
well, his I mean, yeah, it is. Like they have like, to go with what you're saying about his view on humanity. They all have that depth of wanting to go there. Some movies get way out there. Some movies get really, really like the fact that this is a situation that someone could really put themselves in.
That have to put themselves in.
Oh yeah,
sure,
yeah. Like this is like
reality
there's
shows about it.
Yeah, there's no fiction to this. Like, not really. It's fiction and just this instance that we're seeing for entertainment.
Yeah.
But like, it's a very real scenario that people have put themselves in their lives, and it's it's definitely a more intimate movie in terms of like just the movie itself, as opposed to something very abstract like The Fountain.
Yeah.
My only like once again, I don't even want to. I don't like acknowledging it, but I mean, what's the point? I mean, why do this if we don't point out these things? I do think the hard part for a lot of people with this movie, like people that don't necessarily, because we all can agree that this is obviously not a larger audience's cup of tea.
Yeah.
And I think because of that, the movie, because like I said, the movie, a lot of the stuff that a lot of really important plot details are not visibly shown. Not that I personally require that, but I know a lot of people do, and that's a big deal for a lot of people with watching a movie. And the fact that a good chunk of this film happens off screen and it's just recounted through the dialogue, I think that's that's the inaccessibility point for this movie, I think, with some people.
Yeah. I enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, dude, a great drama movie.
I thought that at some point it was going to be revealed with like what his job is and everything else that's kind of going into it. It was going to be revealed that like he had been writing this whole time, and it was going to, like, a novel was going to be found, and in that process it was going to tell his story, like raw emotional story of like, this is everything that happened. That way, like, because think about it, like the kid is still I mean, she's a teenager, but she's still a kid, and she
doesn't know him.
Exactly. And she doesn't know the thought process and the emotional process behind him leaving her and her mom, and what happened, like really what happened between the two of them. And like, because no kid really understands the situation if you come from a broken household like that until you get older and you start to learn that, like, okay, this isn't black and white. This is like one of the two. It's a whole thing. And I really thought that there was going to be a situation that come up to where like he'd been writing this novel for this amount of time that explains everything. and that was going to be his gift to his child, because like not only would it be like an explanation of what happened and how he got to where he was at and all this stuff, but it would also be something that she could publish that would probably be a bestseller that would net her money for the rest of her life. You know what I mean? And that's what I thought was going to happen. It didn't take away or anything like that it didn't happen, but I just had a feeling that maybe it would go this route. But like I said, it's not a thing. I just had an idea, like a passing thought that like, oh, maybe they'll tackle this in this way. And like the movie would have ended with like the way that it did, but it was a passage from the book that he had been working on, like him talking about how much he loved his daughter, how much he wanted to, make sure that she was okay when he was gone and all this stuff. So, but anyway, yeah. I know that's real weird and everything, but it would have made sense,
One of the best scenes in the movie, I thought, as far as like to me, if I had to be like, all right, what's a scene from this movie that showcases some of the best acting, the best parts of the performances, and just all around everything is just firing on all cylinders. For this kind of movie, at least, it's the sequence where him and the ex-wife are talking.
Yeah.
Yes.
When they all leave, and it's just the two of them, and they're because like that's the closest we're gonna get to seeing Brendan Fraser's character be as honest.
Yeah.
With his own, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you could tell they didn't hate each other.
No.
Like,
right? Because that could have been, to me, that would have been the easy way out of writing that part,
Yeah.
But it highlighted just how complex that character's life was.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I would say that was probably the nugget of the movie.
It was great, man. All the performances were so good. Everything about it was incredible. I'm giving it a full whale.
Yeah, full star. It's hard to pull off a movie that you never leave the room.
Oh yeah, for sure.
It's hard to pull that off.
Yeah. Yeah.
And still make it, look big in there. Like,
yeah.
They said by putting a couch in the middle of the room, they were able to go all around it.
Well, I mean, this is the last movie to utilize that style since what, Hateful Eight?
That I've seen.
Yeah.
Which may be another reason people don't like it. Because they never leave just fucking talking. And they never leave the house. It's like, yeah, this ain't for you then.
Yeah, shut up.
New Fast and Furious is out. Go watch that.
Yeah.
Right.
I think The Rock has got a new movie coming out soon.
Yeah, man. I'm right there with y'all. I give it the full star, but it comes with the asterisk that, like we said, or like we point out, it ain't Fast and the Furious. A lot of what you need to know about the characters, you're gonna have to fucking listen to them,
Yeah.
So I would urge that with as far as recommendations, but no, man. I mean, I think Fraser deserves his comeback. So yeah, I give it the same rating, and I would say it gets the coveted golden real estate harpoon.
Much deserved. Much deserved. I'm so happy for Brendan Fraser, man.
But my thing is like, I kinda want to see how he played a bad guy in Batgirl now.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure that Warner Brothers did us all a favor with it, but at the same time, I'm on board with a lot of the people that are like, man, just put it out on HBO Max.
Yeah.
It probably will at some point. It's finished. I saw him talking to Stern, and he was like, "The movie's done. Like, it's finished."
Yeah, like I think all the way, like it was past all of the production stuff too, like the screen lock or frame lock or whatever it's called, you know, where they do the coloring and everything. Like it was done. Like not no Snyder bullshit. Like it was a finished fucking movie. They could have just put it out. I wonder what narrative difference they took that was so bad that even the random screenings they had, people were like, Because with the backing that film had, I mean, and you see it with the the quote unquote backlash that it got from the fucking people that don't read comics.
Yeah.
Like they clearly had to have changed something so drastic in the Batman universe that when they had some sort of lore checker come in there, when they were, you know, Zaslav was doing his thing, and they were like, what the fuck? This got this far? Because if it looks like shit, that's not a big deal. We've been dealing with shitty fucking adaptations of DC stuff, I don't know, for the past 20 something years with the CW. So it looking really like low tier, at the end of the day, it's going to be like, what'd you expect? Same company putting out Arrow, you know, all that shit. But either way, my point being, I would like to see like Brendan Fraser play a legitimate villain.
I think he could do it.
We've seen him do the various leads. We've seen him do the sad drama.
Yeah.
I'd like to see him do the crazy movie too.
Yeah, and he said his character was like a veteran that for some reason got cut off from his benefits. He got angry and turned villain.
I mean,
and like I don't think Monkey Bone counts because it's a comedy. But yeah, like just like a descent into madness thing. Like there was a part in The Well that I was like, ooh, I want to see more of that kind of acting where he's just kind of dithering off and he's just saying shit for a second there, you know?
Yeah.
Like he's talking about his kid, like we know, like the audience is aware of it, but the way he's talking, like the friends, like, what the, are you fucking with me, man? Like, are you, you know? Yeah. I was like, I want to see more of that kind of stuff too from Fraser. Oh, just thinking on the spot. Just thinking on the spot, man. What if Brendan Fraser became our new Hellboy?
I'd be okay with that.
I think he could do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, he definitely needs a house that Jack built. I know I'm fucking jumping genres like crazy here, but I mean, that just shows you how good of an actor the guy is. Like, you could think of any genre and you'd be like, yeah, there's a fit for him.
Speaking of swapping up, Mandalorian, though.
Man, fuck the haters, dude.
Who's hating?
Yeah. Are there people hating?
I don't know.
No.
So, because of the implications that are laid out, and because of the fact that the episode was completely about characters that are going to be directly linked to the sequel trilogy, people are like, "Oh, fuck this show! They've ruined the Mandalorian." And I'm like, "Did you guys read the same articles we did last week, where Jon Favreau was like, yeah, dude, we're linking up with the sequels."
I mean, it's all Star Wars.
I had no fucking problem with the episode itself, and they were also complaining that it was mostly about those Imperials, and it had, you know, Mando and Grogu weren't in it a whole lot.
Yeah,
I thought the reintegration program was a cool perspective to go down, because I mean, it's the end of a galactic civil war. Like they treat it just like, you know, like a civil war. or like once the fighting's done, everybody's got to get along again, you know?
Yeah, it's over. Got to figure it out.
Like I love those kind of like those I mean and it's crazy because I would consider Mandalorian a space western.
A spastern?
A spastern. No, but this episode keeps in line with that because how many shows or movies that you guys have watched, we've all watched for the pod and stuff, where it's in that time period and it has nothing to do with the war, but it gets brought up and they'll be at the saloon and they're like, who's that? Well, that's Tom Tuckerton. He fought for the other side. And they're like, oh, okay. It's that fucko. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, to reference Hateful Eight, there was like a whole plot point built around that.
And I mean, we kind of needed a breather from Mando and Grogu because, like, the episode prior was almost a whole fucking movie in and of itself.
Yeah. It was very interesting to see. I love how in all of this stuff, except for they kind of do it with Andor a little bit, but not as much, but where you get like these full blown one and dones, like one shot stories play themselves out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, of course, you know, there's going to be those characters may pop up again in the future, this, that, and the other, but like it felt very much like a one and done, one shot thing at the end of it. Because, like, I mean, if we see those characters again, either she's going to be bad or screwing something up crazy and he might be a vegetable. We don't know. We don't know what's going to be happening. She cranked that dial up all the way, so
well,
he might be catatonic after
she's
that.
Up to
I don't
some
know.
bullshit for sure.
Yeah.
Well, one of the things I thought immediately whenever the doctor meets up with her and they go to the Star Destroyer.
Yeah.
And he's in there in the lab and everything. I was like, wait a dang minute. Because, like, in season 1, we were like, oh man, they're trying to get Grogu because they're wanting to extract his. We're assuming his midichlorians and all that stuff. Dude, we're actually Favreau is going to give us the Snoke origin story.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's what I think we're getting. And it's going to be interesting if that motherfucker is Snoke.
Well, I mean, I guess if you're going to try to clone something yourself would probably be the easiest thing to get DNA of, so that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, if I have the technology to clone something, like maybe my dog,
or not even.
No, I'm not.
Or man,
cloning my wife.
they could even take the cliche route of him somehow finding himself in the audience of the Emperor, maybe end up on Exegol or something, and they're like, "Yeah, we want to bring the Emperor back, but we're not having you plug this shit up to anything. We're gonna use you as a test subject." A Kemoan could walk in and be like, "Yeah, the math checks out. Let's just use him."
Yeah.
But I had no problem with the episode, and I thought it was cool.
I thought it was good. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
He straight got honey dick by some fucking yellow biscuits.
Yeah, for real, dude. For sure.
She wanted his ass gone for a reason.
Biscuit bonanza.
Yeah.
Get it.
Yeah. She was all whining and dining him, you know. We're gonna go see The Rock.
Yeah.
The highest,
You can
this
touch
is
it.
the highest. Yeah. It's like, oh, got you. I'm like, y'all are too flirty to not bang.
Yeah.
What is happening here? You know, like this is
Or what if
like,
what if she's
she likes
working to
guys,
free?
You know?
Do you think she's working to free Gideon?
Definitely a double agent.
Yeah, if I had to imagine, I would say that there's something because they kept bringing him up, and I'm like, yeah, there's some implication there, right?
I think what fucked him too was when she was like, "You should do it anyway," and he's like, but we're not supposed to do stuff like that. And she's like, oh, okay.
So you're a bitch.
Yeah.
Basically, you know.
Gonna have a hard time turning you. So
yeah.
They'll get rid of you.
So what about Bo-Katan? Or Bo-Katan?
This is the way.
Do you think that she's... I mean, because she kept looking back at that water like, what the fuck was that? Like, it's real. Everything's real. So do you think that she's going to pivot now?
Well, dude, that helmet never came off.
Yeah. I knew that she would wind up on that planet with him and something would like trigger something in her.
Oh, she got shook. Did you see anything down there? He's like, nah. The bottom.
And she's, yeah.
He's like, nah, bitch, I was too busy drowning.
Yeah, right. I didn't sell my helmet off before I dropped in this bitch, you know?
It was almost like the beast did it because it didn't attack them when they went past it.
Yeah.
It was almost like it did it on purpose. Like
it just had to let her
talking shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He slayed the beast. That's not real. Poppycock, I tell you.
Yeah. What?
But I mean, they're both redeemed.
Yeah.
Mando is now a Mandalorian again.
Yeah, it's been washed in the blood of the Lamb.
And I mean, I think that wrapped up a little quicker than I thought it would.
Yeah. But I mean, maybe like they kind of left it off in a good spot. You know, like whenever you save a game, you know, you go back to home base, you know, you talk to everybody and you're like, all right, I'm going to save the game here. That way, next time I load up, I'm like, oh yeah, I talked to all these people. Yeah. So that's what it felt like at the end of this episode. Got back. He turned in the vial of water that he had to retrieve from Mandalore, you know, side quest or main quest.
This show is the greatest RPG that we don't have to play.
Exactly, right? Exactly. So I think that they're like right now they could do anything. And like I think that it'll feed more into like possibly what Carl Weathers is doing. As she may show back up there to be the marshal. I could see because they straight fucking destroyed her little castle in the sand, didn't they? Jesus Christ!
Oh, dude, yeah,
they straight carpet bombed the shit out of it, dude.
Yeah, like that was an Imperial teabagging, dude.
Yeah, but that ship dogfight sequence was badass, dude.
Oh yeah, the whole time that was going down, I'm sitting there going, "This looks expensive."
Yeah.
Grogu locked his little dome.
Yeah, he's like, I ain't coming out.
I mean, they're really watching them get better at maneuvering that little fucking doll around.
Yeah,
has been enjoyable. I was watching. I think it might have been Hot Ones, maybe. Don't know. Mm-hmm. But I was watching one of the Pedro Pascal interviews that they were doing, like right when Mando and Last of Us was airing simultaneously, and there's two dolls that they use for the camera.
Mm-hmm.
There's one for close-ups and then there's one for the far away shots. And they said that he had said that I think that there's whenever they're doing the close-up shots and he's interacting with it, he said there's a team of people, like there's like 2 or 3 different puppeteers that
like, be careful
facial movements. They control like the eyes, all that stuff. Like there's a lot of that stuff going on. And he's like, it's crazy because you're actually able to act with it. Like you're you know what I mean? He can actually deliver a performance and shit with it.
Right.
It was Hot Ones.
A good episode of that.
It was. I like that guy. He's just cool.
He locked in a good format. But anyways, fuck that show.
I was talking about Pedro. Sean's cool too, I guess, but
yeah,
he gets
not so cool after eating those wings. You know what
I'm saying? I mean, got the forehead wins.
I'm convinced he's an android after eating the bomb so many damn times.
He's got to be used to it.
Like the original Combs passed away years ago.
He's the clone. It's all coming together.
Yeah, the YouTube Illuminati.
Yeah. He's the one that dude was like, I'm gonna clone this bitch. He's been eating fucking hot wings for years.
My ulcer.
We got some interesting movie news here, though. If y'all want to peep some of this. So Dune co-writer John Spates to write Netflix Gears of War movie. So the upcoming live-action adaptation of Gears of War is found at screenwriter. Variety reports that John Spates has been brought in to write the screenplay for the film, a big step forward for the project following years of slow progress on turning the hit video game into a movie. Spade is best known for his Oscar-nominated work co-writing Dune along with its upcoming sequel, Dune Part 2. And has also helped with Prometheus for Ridley Scott, The Mummy for Alex Kurtzman, and Doctor Strange for Scott Derrickson. He also wrote Morton Tildum's sci-fi film Passengers, which starred Jennifer Lawrence and Chris Pratt. In a statement, Spates has said of getting the job, Gears of War is one of the all-time great action games with vivid characters, a beautifully designed world, and a combat system that drives home the lethality of war and the importance of standing by your squad mates. It wants to be cinema, and I'm thrilled to have the chance to help that happen. An official statement from the coalition, which is partnering up with Netflix to develop the film, adds, "We're thrilled to partner with John and the Netflix team to bring Gears of War to life. John is a master storyteller with a talent for creating epic science fiction universes, and he truly loves Gears of War. We couldn't have asked for a better partner to honor our franchise and deliver an authentic story to our fans." So here's the thing with Gears of War before we get into John Spates here.
Yeah.
After the success, at least in our eyes, the success of The Last of Us, it would make more sense instead of adapting, and it may change, like they're wanting to make a movie right now. Whenever he gets in there and starts writing it and peeling back all the layers and doing what he needs to do, it would really, really, really work better as a series.
Yes, I actually agree with you on this one, Griff.
So it's like you've got Gears 2, Gears 3, Gears Judgment, and then I haven't played 4 or 5. So even if they were just going to adapt the first 3, you have so much stuff that happens in those first 3 games, and then Judgment kind of leads into everything. And then also you have the backstory that was created in the game universe with the Pendulum Wars and General Ram and like all this stuff that's happening, Mira, all that stuff. So it's like you can elaborate on some of this stuff. And
but that's the thing though. Some of that stuff, absolutely, for the sake of world building and stuff that's practical to the original Gears of War plot.
Yes.
However, I don't think it like Gears of War is a property where a writer who's trying to adapt this could get lost in the sauce very fucking quick.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So I would think the smarter thing would be slim down and just let that world building come naturally.
Yeah.
Like just tell that first game, man. Like prelude to like maybe give us a really crazy opening sequence where we
Emergence
see
Day happens.
Well, we see both something of the Pendulum Wars that dabbles into the Phoenix stuff.
Yeah.
And have like just one episode be like this almost backstory thing. And then at the very end, Emergence happens at the end of the episode, and it just happens, and you're just like, what the fuck is going on? Like, do the time jumps, all that kind of shit. And then, go from there. And then episode 2 be like, all right, now we've got the story so far behind us because it took an hour to tell you. Now let's do the show.
Well, and they could even do it if they didn't want to dedicate that much time to it up front. They could absolutely set it up to where, like, because in the games, and I'm assuming in the movie or whatever format they go with, they find Marcus in the prison. So, like, having him reflect on the events that had him there, or even him dealing with the trauma of, like, being incarcerated for war crimes that, and all this kind of like they could really like embellish that and build on that in a really interesting storytelling type way.
Do you see that tweet down there that Netflix said?
No,
it's actually under where it says like Batista wants to play the part. You know, he kind of looks like that guy, but they're like a live action feature film followed by an adult animated series with the potential for more stories to follow. So there
you go.
Dude, Batista,
he wants it.
Yeah,
he
give it.
And yeah, I think he would be perfect as Marcus, man. And if they don't,
Marcus was a man of few words anyway. I mean, that's usually run of the mill for your main character that you play in a game.
If they don't cast Terry Crews as Coltrane, I'm gonna be so upset too. Like he is the perfect one of the perfect people, in my opinion, to play that character. You know?
Yeah, I think Dom should be Jon Bernthal.
Absolutely, absolutely. Baird, I mean, I would like almost Tom Cruise-esque Baird's personality and character, but I know that they couldn't make that happen. You know what I mean? He's very like cocky but in a lovable kind.
Cast a comedian, man.
Oh yeah, that would be yeah. But yeah, I'm excited to see this kind of come to fruition. Like I said, if they're just now locking in a writer for this, who knows what kind of shape or form this could take before everything's said and done, you know? And if they did the animated stuff, if they decided to develop this into like a series as opposed to a film, they might go back and do some story, like world building elements with like Emergence Day, Pendulum Wars in an animated format. I would be okay with that.
I mean, dude, think about those moments when Dom and Marcus are talking.
Mm-hmm.
And like
just
when
played out.
Yeah, dude, between Bernthal and Batista, shit. They'd be acting, they'd be trying to outact each other, dude.
Well, dude, Bernthal is honestly the perfect choice to play Dom because, like, you know, him and Marcus's relationship and then the spiral that he goes down in Gears 2 into Gears 3. You know what I'm saying?
Third gear.
And
you need good actors to carry that saga out, and they would be good for that.
Yeah, I agree.
Well, not only did this guy write Dune, but he wrote that first Doctor Strange movie.
Yeah.
And Prometheus.
Yeah.
Banger.
Oh, yeah.
And I mean, despite passengers being passengers, if he somehow has a pull to bring any kind of other crew members on board for production, passengers, like what few space shots we got looked great.
Yeah.
So I mean, who knows? I mean, who knows if anyone in that department and them are even networking, but you know.
With The Last of Us, they would be crazy not to develop it into a series. I'm just saying.
I mean, my thing is that the I'm right there with you, Griff. I would be down for them to tell all of the story. But my only worry is that it would make it so convoluted just in terms of writing, because like you had to experience that story in the way of the games for it to all make sense anyhow.
Yeah.
And reworking that, like, because there's a lot going on in that universe, in that story particularly, at least with the first 3 games and all of the tie-ins to it.
Right.
Well, a large part of your viewers are going to be people that played them. Yeah. I mean, I haven't, but I'll still watch it.
I'm just saying, Adam, the first time you see someone get chainsaw bayoneted, you're going to be like, yes!
I did the horde mode.
Yeah. Well, dude, when they bring out the Lambent and like, that's all. And the fucking Brahmak or whatever it was called.
And imagine like on a cinematic level, how intense they could make those cavern sequences become whenever they're actually down there.
Oh yeah.
Dude, they could make that shit so claustrophobic.
For sure, yeah.
And then open up into a couple big caverns to do like, you know, some sort of big throwdown or something. But Or like not even do that. Just like keep it this shot where it's just tons of close quarters combat. Like locusts are busting out of the walls. They gotta fucking run from. They're like just the classic hallway chase sequence, but just underground.
Yeah, with tickers and all.
Oh, dude, don't even get them. Like there's so many cool. Like they're gonna have to have a hell of an effects team, and what would be interesting is if we got a good hybrid of practical and CGI.
Yeah, I think
with
the
creatures.
I think the locust especially would work best if they did very Lord of the Rings esque with their orcs. You know what I mean?
My man.
Yeah, exactly. So, all right, new Star Wars movie reportedly loses writers, but still aiming for 2025 release. So, we've talked about Star Wars the last couple of episodes we've done here about how people are dropping like flies. Apparently, Damon Lindelof was working on a Star Wars film. It says last week, Damon Lindelof explained how hard it was to write a great Star Wars movie, and now it seems like he is not going to deliver any Star Wars movie. As the saga of where Star Wars goes next continues, a new report has said that both Lindelof and Justin Britt Gibson have stepped away from the project that is set to be directed by Shermeen Obaid Chinoy and hit cinemas in December 2025. So I remember we talked about this December 2025 project, but I didn't know that Lindelof was attached to it. According to the above line, the film is still aiming to start filming early in 2024 for its 2025 premiere and has already acquired its new writer. The report says that Lindelof and Britt Gibson handed the first draft's script last month and apparently exited the project just a few days later. This would possibly explain why Lindelof was reluctant to say much when appearing at South by Southwest recently. At this time, he said, I will just say that for reasons that I can't get into on this Sunday morning, on this day, the degree of difficulty is extremely, extremely high. If it can't be great, it shouldn't exist. That's all I'll say because I have the same association with it as you do, which is it's the first movie I saw sitting in my dad's lap, 4 years old, May of 77. I think it's possible that sometimes when you hold something in such high reverence and esteem, you start to get in the kitchen and you just go, maybe I shouldn't be cooking. Maybe I should just be eating. We'll just leave it at that point. It sounds like that the script that he wrote, the first draft that he wrote and submitted, there was some very extreme notes that came along, and he's like, well,
I tried.
Well, what they probably did is take your less is more, have an ass, and get the fuck out of here. It's not why people watch Star Wars. Because you got to remember, Lost, less is more, Lindelof. Prometheus was going to get a full alien fucking reveal, connection, all that shit.
3 movies.
Less is more.
Spread it out.
Fuck that.
Yeah.
No, all the better, man. Get him the fuck out of there if that's what he's going to do.
Well, and I think that a Lindelof Star Wars experience would be interesting and fun to watch. I just don't think that like right now with the studio where they currently are,
they can't be taking those risks right now.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And maybe that'll be something that like, okay, and if I hope that he took the script with him and he's like, don't use this, bring another writing team in, write the movie to put out in 2025, blah, 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 and then maybe revisit it in 5 or 10 years, you know? I'm not saying that for the better or for the worse, but I mean,
and I'm not saying that there's no place for it, but once again, even with Andor still delivered on big things. And even if you were to go that route, as opposed to the flashy big screen versions, people do not watch Star Wars for the long slog. That just ain't it. Like if you're gonna take like Andor, Andor was the first attempt at it, and while it became a smash hit and everyone got excited with it and we all ended up enjoying it, and I myself got converted later on, that those first 5 to 6 episodes, it's very much like where we go in here.
Yeah.
Like I'm looking at my watch, you know.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think Star Wars and, Lucasfilm or whatever is kind of in shambles right now. So, makes sense. It just sucks that they're still going to, they're going to rush a product through. And, Star Wars rushing is a little bit different than, rushing other things, of course. I mean, it's Star Wars. There's money to throw into it.
And another thing for less is more. We made a Watchmen show where we barely saw Dr. Manhattan at all. Like he was in it, but
the show was good though.
Yeah, but it was still very less is more.
Oh yeah.
And I think this also was him backing away going, you know what? I already got in the spotlight for some big shit like this a couple of years ago. Maybe he just wasn't ready to deal. I mean, I'm sure he's used to dealing with the criticisms now, clearly. But maybe he's not. Maybe he's like, you know what? I don't feel like climbing on that horse right now, really.
Yeah.
Because if he thought people were going to scrutinize his ass over Watchmen, oh shit, they're going to rip his ass apart if he touches Star Wars.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, just look up any of the Disney Star Wars stuff from like the, I guess, I don't know how you would put it, legacy fans. I don't know the right words for it. But it's fucking brutal, man. Some of the reviews for all this shit, dude, is just a straight bloodbath of words.
Yeah. So speaking of getting on that horse, Jordan Peele's fourth film is slated for a Christmas 2024 release. While still coasting down from the hype around Jordan Peele's neo-Western sci-fi horror film Nope that premiered just last year, more news is coming in that the train of now trademark Peele horror is not stopping anytime soon. Per a report from Variety, the director's next upcoming project has appeared on Universal Pictures' official website with an exact release date of December the 25th of 2024 on Christmas Day. Universal Pictures, which helmed Peele's first three movies, Get Out, Us, and Nope, continue to help orchestrate the director's slate of groundbreaking horror projects. Its release date calendar now includes a feature simply called Untitled Fourth Film, directed by Jordan Peele, and it's chosen a rather special premiere date of Christmas Day at the end of next year. Whether that pertains to the project's theme or plot remains to be seen. In following with tradition of his other films, Peele is staying very tight-lipped on the premise, casting, working title, and even the genre of his newest project. Rather than tease fans with hints of any kind, Peele prefers to keep the mystery around his work entirely obscure, a rather clever and underused tactic in the horror genre. In fact, there's about the only notion the audience can go on until then there is destined to be horror element blended in somehow. There's another feature on Universal's official page called an Untitled Monkey Paw film, which references Peele's production company. It's set for release a bit earlier on September the 27th of 2024, overtaking the spot of a previous unnamed animated feature. No details have been released yet on that project either, including whether Peele himself is directing it. So yeah, we're going to be getting a 2024. We're going to be getting two Monkey Paw productions, one from Jordan Peele, possibly two from Jordan Peele. It would be interesting if he directed two and they released them almost back to back. You know what I mean? Like as a follow up and all that good stuff. So, but that's cool though. I'm excited. I very much enjoyed Nope. So
they were probably thinking, "Damn, if we would have released that when all that UFO shit was going on."
I know, right?
I think if anything, it got more people to pay attention to it.
Yeah.
I mean, whether it may, I mean, obviously it was an inadvertent effect of it, but the only thing I would argue in this argument though is it labels it as, let's see, I'm sorry, I want to quote it approximately. More news is coming in that the train of now trademark Peele horror. I'm pretty sure last week we pointed out that Peele and Shyamalan are damn near the same in their directing style. And I don't say that to say that Peele rips off Shyamalan, but to say that it's his own style, I think that's a little bit of gas pumping, you know?
Yeah, after we talked about that, I looked that up to see if he'd ever said anything about it. And there's Reddit pages where people are like, this motherfucker's just like M. Night Shyamalan. Like, really, just people going back and forth about it all day. And it's like, yeah. It's a cool style.
Well, it's funny that exists. I had no idea.
It's interesting because, like, you've got M. Night Shyamalan, who's like a little bit more drama focused, you know.
Yeah.
And he kind of like takes on the weird and gives it a more, you know, realistic approach, where Peele kind of looks at everything from a horror aspect, and then like at a certain point, he actually goes down the rabbit hole. Yeah. You know. So like they are very distinct styles, but
I agree. Like
it's like it's the 2.0 version.
Yeah, right.
It evolved.
I guess more specifically, I think it's that they both choose their style of cinematography.
Yeah.
Is what I feel is the most similar, because like you pointed out, like a Shyamalan film is all over the place until it all comes together like a puzzle. Whereas Jordan Peele, most of his films, there's a point, almost like an anime, where it just goes off the deep end and it just continues to fall for the rest of the thing. Like it just goes.
Yeah.
Like it goes for it. Because the ending of Nope, didn't think we would get that level of reveal.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Like I felt like we were gonna get something, but that was like it just goes off the rails.
Yeah.
Like in that chimp beatdown.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That was off the rails. Like what rails? We're making a dirt road.
Oh dude, no man, to add to it, no, the chimp grabbed the damn rails off the ground and started beating people with it. Like that's how off the rails it got.
Yeah. But I'm excited to see what he comes out with, man. Him and Shyamalan's storytelling is very similar, and their cinematography, their approach to everything, including up to release, like it's, you know, it's almost cut and copy and paste to a degree of like how, because like Knock at the Cabin had no idea, Old had no idea, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like you just go into it, and same thing with Peele's movies. Like I had no idea that Us was going to be like Hands Across America shit was going on.
Oh, dude, like, I still think that's probably one of the best scenes he shot, was that zoom in on the TV where it's like, what has 1,000,000 teeth and 1,000 eyes or some shit like that.
Yeah.
Like that was peak creep for him, in my opinion.
Yeah. So Alicia.
I was just saying, but the thing that I was just gonna end my 2 cents on it with, either way, they both have a very good capacity to tell really great stories, and even though Shyamalan's got some years ahead of Peele's gaining ground with his own work, and they're both gonna end their runs one day with a really good filmography to flip through.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So yeah, Alicia Silverstone is up for Blast in the Past 2, or Blast from the Past 2. Would do anything with Brendan Fraser. So I was just going to mention this real quick. Sequel to Blast from the Past is not out of the realm of possibility, with at least one of its main stars making it clear she's up for a sequel. Released in 99, Blast from the Past stars Brendan Fraser as a 30-something who joins the real world after spending his entire life growing up in a fallout shelter. He meets a woman played by Alicia Silverstone who helps him get acclimated to life in the late 90s. I mean, of course she would be down for it, right? I mean, what's the last thing that she has done?
Clueless. Nah, I'm sure it's something.
I'm looking.
Was she in those Legally Blonde movies? Or was that a different?
She's been working. She was in an episode of American Horror Story, Masters of the Universe. She played Queen Marlena. The Babysitter's Club TV series. Valley Girl, uncredited. She's got 3 upcoming projects: Reptile, Crazy House, and Tunnels. So yeah, I mean, it makes sense that she's like, yeah, let's do this thing. I would watch it for sure. Why not? So Mike Mignola, he praises the Hellboy script. So a few weeks have passed since Millennium Films announced that Hellboy, the legendary Dark Horse character created by Mike Mignola, would make his triumphant return to the silver screen after the abrupt failure of the 2019 version starring Stranger Things and Marvel Studios star David Harbour. Days after the announcement, the production company confirmed Jack Kesy as the lead under the direction of Brian Taylor. The new story will adapt one of the character's more recent story arcs, The Crooked Man. The story follows a Hellboy who encounters an evil entity in rural Appalachia in the 1950s. Taylor's idea is to move away from the previous version to present an R-rated film, a folk horror tale closer to the source material. And it seems that Mignola is more than happy with what they are doing. This is what he told Variety. His intentions is to make a horror movie, so that'll be nice. That'll be interesting. I read the new draft of the screenplay yesterday, and yes, it is definitely R. It is the first Hellboy script that I read and went, oh, it's a horror movie, which is what I wanted. Taylor does not have a reputation as a horror movie director, but so far we've had 2 horror movie directors make Hellboy movies, and we've never gotten a horror movie. So yeah. And we've got the director here, Brian Taylor. I don't think that we have talked about him as the director. I know that we talked about them casting Hellboy with the guy from Deadpool 2.
Mm-hmm.
So this guy directed Crank. Yeah, we did talk about this. Crank High Voltage. That was a writer. Never mind. Director. Happy. He directed 9 episodes of that. Gamer. Oh yeah, he did Ghost Rider. I'm fucking in. Okay, I'm in. Crank High Voltage. So yeah. So I'm interested to see how this all plays out. He was in Midnight Meat Train. Okay. Anyway, Trav, I don't know if you heard the news. Good Burger 2 has been greenlit.
I do.
What?
Yes. Welcome to Good Burger, home of the Good Burger. Can I take your order? One Good Burger sequel, please. The long-awaited comedy sequel, Good Burger.
Hold on, my wife's a 90s woman. Hey, wife!
God.
Honey of mine, love of my life.
Honey.
They're making a Good Burger Part 2. Damn! I'm behind the times. She looked at me and said, I already knew that. Hey, it just proves my theory.
Says it's been greenlit for release on Paramount Plus with both Keenan and Kel all set to return. The news was revealed during the latest episode of The Tonight Show starring Jimmy Fallon. I can't believe it's been a little over 25 years since great customer service was born at Good Burger, Thompson said in a statement. Being a part of something so many generations of people have come to love has made me so proud, and now to be back where it all began, working on the sequel is surreal. Love performing with my brother Kel and can't wait to show the fans what these characters have been up to since we last saw them. Plot details for Good Burger 2 have also been revealed. Dexter Reed is down on his luck after another one of his inventions fails. Ed welcomes Dex back to Good Burger with open arms and gives him his old job back. With a new crew working at Good Burger, Dex devises a plan to get back on his feet, but unfortunately puts the fate of Good Burger at risk once again. So it will be written. Yeah.
Simple plot, barrel of laughs, you know?
Yeah.
I bet I know why this happened. Like, they started doing these Good Burger skits on Jimmy Fallon. I'd watch them on YouTube.
Yeah.
And they would go viral.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I had no idea.
Shitloads of plays, and they were funny. So it makes sense now that they were like, oh, let's pop one of those out.
It says here that Good Burger 2 will be written by Kevin Coplaw and Heath Sureft, who co-wrote the original outing alongside James III. The sequel is set to be directed by Phil Trail, who has helmed episodes of several classic sitcoms, including Modern Family, The Middle, and Fresh Off the Boat, with Nickelodeon Studios producing. I was wondering how that would work with Nickelodeon, and I had no idea that they were doing shorts, but I'll have to check those out. I mean, dude,
it was one of the funniest parts of all that as a kid, man.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
I mean, who loves orange soda?
And like, we never had Good Burger on VHS, right? But do you know how many times we rent that motherfucker from the video store?
Dude, right.
Like, that was just one of them that we were constantly, me and my brothers would constantly rent that over and over and over again because it was just hilarious, you know, as kids, you know, watching all that and all that stuff. Like, we loved it. So I'm excited, and I'm hoping that they do that thing where they make it for like as a PG film, but they do a little wink nods to the older audience. Cause I mean, it's been 25 years, you know? So.
they know the audience that's coming to watch this. So I'm hoping that, I hope they make it, obviously, it's going to be family friendly as fuck. Yeah. But Nickelodeon's good at that innuendo, man. Always have
been.
Yeah. Yeah. So is Kenan and Kel like our younger selves version of Jay and Silent Bob?
Kinda.
I mean, it's kind of like that, right?
Yeah. Oh,
I mean, so, you know. But yeah, I'm excited for it, for sure. Last up here, I wanted to hit on this. This actually was tweeted March the 15th. And it's got 8.4 million views, by the way. Zack Snyder tweeted out a video, #FullCircle, for a save the date, April the 28th through April the 30th of 2023. And then at the end of it, it says, or before that pops up, it says from Lord Darkside.
Have you seen his new tweet? I dropped it in general about 6 hours ago.
All right. In progress, @Jim Lee is a genius, exclusive for Full Circle weekend screenings to benefit mental health awareness and suicide prevention. So he's doing a screening showcase again. Says Snyderverse, Zack Snyder's Justice League, and IMAX.
That does not mean that we're not going to get an announcement, though.
They better do something because the hype is real.
Yeah.
I mean, I know it's probably easy to throw a quick graphic like that together, do a little voice modifying, but don't tease a villain that we have been made very clear they're not fucking with anymore.
Yeah. I mean,
I saw it and my mouth dropped. Now I didn't know that the I knew he had conventions, but I didn't think this would allude to that, and I was hoping it wouldn't. But I mean, it's looking more and more like that's what it obviously is.
Right. But I mean, even if they do show the Snyderverse, you can knock that out in an afternoon. Maybe not. Maybe 2 days. Okay. With the 4-hour cut of Justice League, you know.
Even with the 4-hour cut of Justice League, If you started at about 7 or 8 in the morning, you'd be done by 6 in the evening.
Yeah, for sure.
Now that is not pausing. You're sitting there, you're watching it. Like,
it sounds like you know, Trav.
I mean, I'm not.
It sounds like you played this scenario out.
I mean, your boys had COVID, so I've watched various Machete orders.
That's the Rona cut where you watch it all.
Yeah, from beginning to end in one day.
One of the things I watched when I had COVID, besides the full run of Evangelion nonstop and had a panic attack at the end, but I watched the MCU, but I watched the Captain America perspective, and it's where you watch it and you watch First Avenger, The Avengers, Winter Soldier, Civil War, or you watch them and then place the Avenger films where they're at. And I watched all of it that way, and that was a good way to watch those movies. Right. I mean, you're cutting out like 15 fucking films, but it's still made for like a. It really shows that like if you just like one certain IP, you can watch them, and yeah, there's some stuff that would need fill. Like kind of like with comic books.
Yeah.
If you got a particular hero you like that ends up in the crossover event, and you're reading his perspective, yeah, there's gonna be some shit there that you're not gonna be that much caught up to speed on.
Yeah.
But nevertheless, though, yeah, I've watched the Snyderverse several times. I'm gonna leave it at that.
But I mean, it's happening over the course of 3 days. Even if it was something that he was doing 4 hours a day or whatever it is, like you're still knocking that out in 2 days, right? So I mean, he could be announcing something. Who knows at this point? It's pure speculation on our part, but like either way, good for him for doing it. And then also, if something else comes from it, we're here for it.
Oh yeah. Well, I like that he can still dabble in the stuff his name is attached to, clearly.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, the fact that he's not just abandoning it and just putting it behind him, that's cool. And I mean, the whole significance of like his personal life and with Justice League and how that all came to be and happened. Obviously these movies are going to be like a to borrow a DC term, a flashpoint for him.
Yeah.
So, and my thing too is because whenever this came out, I sent it to you guys that morning, and me and Griff kind of chewed the fat on the idea for the idea that Zack Snyder had continued working, and one of the things that is confusing about this weird slate of films that's coming out between now and the next Superman movie where we get the full reboot. The Flash movie is so dependent on so much Snyderverse material.
Yeah.
That you can't help but wonder if there's something else at play behind there.
Yeah.
Because think about the marketing. People kind of turn a blind eye to Man of Steel. I don't know why, but it always seemed that the criticism for Snyder's DC stuff got its loudest when he released Batman vs Superman, and since then, his stuff is very highly criticized. A lot of people don't like it, but there's a very loud fan base that does. I feel like we're part of that particular corner, and I wonder if there was a way that Snyder and Warner Brothers sat down, regardless of who was CEO, and they were like, look, we're going to keep going because there's some sort of, it's like it takes a minute for this movie to sink into some people's heads, or for these movies, because you'll see them come out and there's like the whole, oh man, it's garbage, Martha, fucking, insert stupid fucking argument. But then years later, though, you see people going, "No, man, that movie was amazing. It was the craziest spectacles I've ever seen." Blah 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 blah. Give me the gravy, Zach. You know. And I wonder if they was like, "Look, we've got to get the fucking audience and fans. We got to get their fucking eyes off of us. Like they've got to fuck off." And you know, what if they found a way to have all this stuff going and they're like, well, since Elseworlds is a thing, came straight from the horse's mouth.
Got something to add to that.
They're like,
Jim Lee is the creative officer and publisher at DC Comics. Yeah. That's a drawing that Jim Lee did.
Oh,
Snyder's characters. So what if they're going to release comics finishing it out full circle in it?
And I would be okay with that.
I would be too.
At least you'd be able to know the story and what happens.
Well, and even with it being a different medium like that, with it being the comics, he would be able to do so much more and make things get so fucking crazier than he could do in a live action version.
Or could be animated. After that, I mean, they'd animate it. They got a whole animation department.
I had no idea that Jim Lee had moved into that position. Jesus Christ, man.
Because the little thing about Jim Lee, Adam, some of the best panels of, like, some of the best drawings of Batman that you've probably scrolled past, some of the coolest ones you have ever seen, chances are Jim Lee drew them.
Yeah, the two best, like, artists, in my opinion, Jim Lee and Alex Ross.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the hands down my two favorites. So like,
as far as your illustrators, absolutely.
Yeah, and hats off to him for moving into that position. Much deserved, dude.
Lee's been in the game for a minute.
Yeah, he came from Image. You know, like that's crazy. He started at like Marvel or something.
If I'm not mistaken, Lee will know. Because for some reason I thought Lee might have helped draw some of the stuff for McFarlane's crossover of Batman and Spawn, but it's McFarlane. He's fucking drawing it, you know, like.
Yeah, I think that I think Jim Lee has drawn some of McFarlane's stuff in the past, though. I may be wrong about that, but I think that they have collaborated at some point.
I think Jim Lee also drew, didn't he help draw some of the Infinity comics for Marvel back in the day? I don't think he drew the Infinity Gauntlet, but I think he helped some. I think he helped I know he did a lot of stuff for Kirby.
Yeah. Cut his teeth.
But yeah, he's a legend, dude.
If they did that, if they released like a trade and they finished the story out full circle that way, and he got Jim Lee to do the art for it, oh my fucking God.
I would pay top dollar for whatever the price is, man.
Yeah.
Like, I would absolutely order it.
Yeah. Especially if it was an omnibus, like with...
Oh, dude, I'd get that bitch and read it in a fucking one sitting, man. Like, I wouldn't put it down until I was done.
Facts. Absolutely. But yeah, I'm ready for these trailers.
Beef.
It's what's for dinner. Before we play the trailer, I'd like to add that Ghostbusters Hell Kitchen has started filming.
Okay.
Expected by December the 20th.
I'm here for it.
Paul Rudd will return.
Dude, they could cast him in anything, and I'm like,
are you guys not nervous about that at all?
No, dude.
Like, Afterlife was so good that it needs to just.
This takes place in New York City at the fire department. It's a whole, they've taken the technology back. Like, remember at the end when he's buying the fire department?
Yeah, I say it's going to pick up with Ernie Hudson owning the place and everything.
Yeah.
I mean, that sounds so awesome, But at the same time, I'm like, can they truly do it again?
Only time will tell.
I think at this point, if Paul Rudd was like, yeah, I don't think this is a good idea, and would dip out, then they would shut production down.
Well, I mean, I've heard largely that Ant-Man 3 was a swing and a miss.
I mean, we'll talk about that when it comes out. I don't think it was a swing and a miss. I think it was a swing and like a foul ball.
I feel I'm still holding my previewing argument that I think that perhaps the movie became too comic book for general audiences.
I mean, it did get pretty comic booky to an extent, but like
because at the end of the day, comics are meant to be silly.
Yeah.
Like they tell a very serious story and have serious themes and metaphors, but like Superman and Batman, when you think about them as characters, they're silly.
Yeah.
Like, dude dresses up as a bat and beats the shit out of people. Other guy's a fucking alien that can't die. It's silly.
Yeah.
But those are good like entry points to be able to be like, yeah, let's take silly and fucking show you some real shit.
Yeah. Beef. So this has got dude from Walking Dead in it?
Mm-hmm.
And Ali Wong?
I think it's A24.
It's
a series.
I thought this was about Rogue Company servers.
She.
Boy, have I got to talk to y'all about that when we're off the pod.
Well, all right.
All right, 3, 2, 1, play.
Oh God.
Oh God.
Oh, he's losing all his Bitcoin. It's her. Oh.
What the fuck? Yeah. They're gonna fall in love. Oh Jesus.
Dude, she's hilarious as like her stand up.
Yeah. Was that fucking?
Yes, it was.
What was his name? Santino?
Yeah, he's in this movie. Or show.
What the fuck is going on?
It's like they took that idea from that Russell Crowe Road Rage movie.
Yeah.
They're going to fall in love.
Yeah.
They like each other.
I'm going to call it now. One of them has some really ridiculous shit going on in their life. Like they owe a motherfucker money. And this shit's just not making it. Yeah, well, it's just not making life any better for them. You the Smashing Pumpkins. Speaking of Smashing Pumpkins, The well should have ended with whenever he does the jump and he does the and it cuts to white, it jumps to black. The world is a vampire. Anyway, it was low hanging fruit. I went for it.
One Day as a Lion. So is this based off of that Zach De La Rocha album that he dropped? Like that?
No, dude. It's about Jameson. It's about Jameson still not getting his pictures of Spider-Man.
Oh.
We're about to see him flip his shit on the bugle.
I'm ready.
All right, 3, 2, 1, play.
Pervasive language.
Day is the greatest. Oh shit.
He needs to realize this ain't Sam Elliott.
Mustache. So fake.
Is that Sean Sugar Daddy Dawkins?
Oh, it is. Oh, no.
This motherfucker rocking a Letterman, dude. Feels like David Letterman.
Low and slow. It's not the first time I've seen him in his underwear. Varsity Blues.
Yeah.
He was wearing a cowboy hat, cowboy boots, and his whitey tighties. She broke my heart, so I broke her jaw.
This music is very off-putting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Doesn't look terrible.
Scared. It's me pissed off.
This is me pissed off.
Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp. Let's see it.
Sure, this is based on a book or something. 3, 2, 1, play.
Mm-hmm.
This movie came out in 2019. Is it just now getting a fucking release?
Probably.
I wonder if they held it because of the whole trial and everything.
I like this 90s trailer they've got going on here.
Even the music.
Yeah.
I could kind of see why it got shelved for so long, though.
I mean, I might check it out. You know, it don't look too bad.
Oh, I'm sure it's not awful, but at the same
service.
time,
there's people in the comments. It's like, I watched this movie. It come out. I think the trailer was for that streaming service.
Yeah.
Johnny Depp.
Johnny Depp. BlackBerry.
Oh man, I've been wanting to know about how that company came to be.
I believe it is based on the company.
Oh, good. Nailed it.
Oh, BlackBerry, bam, bam. All right. Had to, you know.
BlackBerry had a keypad, bam, 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 bam. All right, 3, 2, 1, play.
Oh my God.
It's the creation of the smartphone is what it is.
Yeah.
Changed the world forever. Is that dude from, it is. It's Always Sunny.
Is it?
Yeah. Look at him. Surely, right?
It's like Silicon Valley.
What's his name? Yeah, that's him. I noticed it in the eyes and the nose. He's got that horseshoe haircut.
Wow.
What a transformation.
Yeah.
It looks like he's going to save the movie. Like,
yeah,
his acting. It's like coffee's for closers. Yeah, dude. Definitely hits him after that.
I kind of want to watch that.
Yeah,
any tech movie like that, I'm usually game.
Well, it kind of has a founder vibe to it, you know?
Yeah.
Quasi? or Quasi. Is this about the Hunchback? Oh my god! It is,
and it's
the guys who brought you the super. It's the fucking
broken lizard.
Oh my. Okay, all right.
So you already know.
I'm actually really excited. Excited to see this. It's been a minute, dude.
All right, 3, 2, 1, play. It's cool. They got a little Hulu distribution, like.
Jesus.
Quasi.
Super Troopers. This is Mel Brooks as fuck, man.
Yeah, it's straight up history of the world. I thought it was at first, since it was on Hulu.
I kind of want to watch it, dude. It looks hilarious. Gregor, bring me Gregor. Right on.
Just another empty bottle.
Is this gonna be a kung fu movie?
I mean, I hope so.
I mean, I'm waiting for the return, dude.
It is a foreign.
Okay.
He's retired now. He's like, I don't speak English no more.
Oh, okay.
That thumbnail makes me think of the scene from Rumble in the Bronx when Jackie Chan starts messing with that thing a little bit, and then by the end of the sequence, he's just fucking going ham on it. Anyway.
All right, 3, 2, 1, play.
Speak of the damn devil.
Did they let him keep his horse from Shanghai Noon? Oh. Okay.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So he was a stunt man. Now he's got to train the stunt horse. Full circle, dude. Yeah. You know, because he was a stunt man on those Bruce Lee movies. Full circle. I mean,
he was a stunt man in his own fucking movies.
Well, that's true too. Yeah. Joyride? Is this a remake of the Candy Cane?
I don't know. It's Red Band.
I mean, I hope so.
Candy Steve sounds like,
we gotta get the fuck out of here, man.
Dude, whenever they're telling the dude, they're like, dude, I'm a dude. Like, we fucking with you. It's just quiet, and you just hear him go, apologize.
Yeah. Yeah.
Pink champagne. I'm like, don't fuck up Cowboy Wayne.
Yeah. He did too. He fucked him up. I'm ready though.
All right, 3, 2, 1, play.
Salute, yeah, salute. Oh shit. Shit, I want to play slide too. Whoa.
Didn't expect that.
No, dude. Jesus Christ.
Oh, no.
Oh, shit.
They're doing them all?
Oh, God.
It's like The Hangover.
I mean,
it's a lot going on there.
Yeah.
Kind of funny.
Yeah, it did. Was not expecting it to open up like that. Holy shit. I'm for
fuck
it, though.
You, motherfucker. Pop.
Yeah. Lola, is this based off the song? La. I
don't know what it's based off of.
Watch a man, buddy. Something. Anyway.
All right, 3, 2, 1, play. Bug Zapper.
Oh, okay.
If the movie's shot like this, I'm fucking sold.
Oh shit.
Fucking A, dude. This shit's like Primer, dude.
It makes sense to film it that way because you could use that footage.
Yeah.
I mean, that looks interesting as hell, dude.
It really does, man.
It's like a mashup of like the Chronovisor story. It's like Debs, but in 1940. It's like that meets Man in the High Castle. Either way, like put that one on the pile, man.
Yeah, that looks very interesting.
Like if anything, that's something I'll throw in the bucket if we ever go back to picks of the week.
Hashtag Martin.
It's just a teaser. 2 minutes and 30-second teaser.
I mean,
their trailers are long, to be fair.
Yeah, their trailers are 5 minutes, so that makes sense. Yeah.
All right, 3, 2, 1, play.
Already.
Stan?
So many drones were used in this movie, probably.
The bad guy? He's an Indian.
That camera shape was kind of cool. Every time these turns, he's
like they're not even showing that guy do anything. I feel like he's just gonna walk out and just smash brothers everybody off the map, like
that.
Uh-oh.
It's a guy you don't fuck with in the shower.
What the fuck is going on?
I mean,
Martin?
Nobody knows. Yeah, Martin for sure. Oh God.
Well, they gonna make them fight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're like dog fighting them.
Look at him. Violence.
might have to go to the movies and check that out.
Holy shit in a handbasket, dude! Like
he's straight going in on him, wasn't he?
That was sensory overload. Like these trailers depict India as like no matter where you're at, every square inch of that country, shit is just popping off.
Yeah. Well, he was in Pakistan
everywhere, you know.
Yeah, he was in Pakistan prison, but he's the only Indian guy there, and they had to like bring some other dudes in, a white dude and that other dude, to fight the Indian guy.
Well, they brought in the duo that Tony Jaa has the fight at the end of The Protector.
Yeah, right. All right. I saw these next two, and they look cheesy, so I threw them in there. You know what I'm saying?
Oh man! All right, heard that. I'm bringing some crackers.
War of the Worlds: The Attack.
3, 2, 1, play. He's Indian. Whoever converted this file needs their ass kicked.
I know, right?
It said 1080 and it's still.
Oh, so it's just another version of it.
Continuation.
Oh, and it's in a different part of the world. Right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, wait till these motherfuckers get COVID.
That is what fucked them up. They got sick.
Well, since they're in the UK, maybe Doctor Who will show up.
Oh my God. Doctor?
Well, he's like, I don't have a plan, but I'll think of something.
Yeah. Cricket box.
Wishmaster meets Hellraiser, maybe?
I hope so. Mr. Deer gave it 3 red hearts and 1 pink one. So I don't know what that means, but I'm here for it.
Sounds like the name of a cool artifact for Magic the Gathering.
Cricket box. Or Mr. Deer.
Or like an upgraded. I don't know how you could upgrade a bag of holding, but if one were to upgrade it, you could call it the trinket box.
I actually saw one of these on that road show.
Mm-hmm.
They had a little trinket box they brought in, and the guy praised it. It was last week. People have been uploading clips to TikTok.
Yeah.
I'm like, I like the road show.
Well, I mean, like, some of them are very intricately, like, handmade and everything.
Y'all ready?
Oh, yeah.
3, 2, 1, play.
Okay. It's going to be that Tiny Tim song.
Tiptoe through the tulips.
Yeah. I wasn't far off.
Why are you whispering? She's whispering too. Oh, racist lady. You know what I'm saying?
Dude, that's Aunt May from the Raimi Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
She wants her body.
Yeah.
Skeleton Key.
This one's blurry as fuck too. Oh, pixelated shit.
That's fucking scary. Damn.
Mm-hmm. Look at that trinket box.
Oh, that movie comes out next Friday.
In a hot box. All right, what are we gonna watch next week?
I don't know.
This is a first. We haven't been in this rut in a minute.
We got some options.
All right, lay them out.
Cocaine Bear. Babylon. Those are the two that I was like,
Flip a coin, man. I'm down for either one. That Babylon's the period piece, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. It's about movie making.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I feel like we know what Cocaine Bear is going to be, you know?
All right, I'm gonna Google flip a coin. Y'all, all right, so what's gonna be
Heads is Cocaine Bear.
All right, I'm flipping it. All right, Google says Tails. Babylon.
We can watch Cocaine Bear after that. I still want to see it.
Yeah, same.
Y'all want
same.
to.
Oh, there's another one to go in that pile. The Winnie the Pooh and the Honey of the Blood or whatever.
Yeah. Well, how about this? Let's pull a real estate rewind and pull up the random generator and throw those three in, and set our format for the next 3 weeks.
Random list generator. Let me get it pulled up. Cocaine Bear. Babylon and Winnie the Pooh. All right. I'm going to randomize it 5 times. Y'all ready?
Yeah.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cocaine Bear, Babylon, Winnie the Pooh.
All right.
I'm down with that. We can break it up.
I mean, I think Cocaine Bear will cleanse the palate of the well quite nicely.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, I guess, I mean, I know we already rounded out that segment, but, like, dude, the well was depressing.
So we got our movies, man.
I mean, checks in the mail.
Sheesh.